Hello and welcome back to your favourite chaotic Leeds United podcast. Not another Leeds podcast with me, Danny, and James on this side. He is today. You
Hello.
might see that Kevin is not with us today. He's working away again. Where is he, James?
He got a shift at the doors at Stringfellows tonight. So yeah, he's
Right,
keeping all
that
the
makes
horny men
sense.
out. Yeah. So
Well, he's a horny man
be
himself.
safe, Kevin.
I'm
Be safe.
If not, use protection. Wear your helmet. On tonight's podcast, you might notice, sorry, Evie. Evie returns to pick on my other guest, if she dares, because he's a member of my Peacocky Blinders. It is Andrea Russo. Hello, Andrea. And I'm loving the get-up, mate. Very in theme for tonight.
Record appearances as a guest.
Yes. Again, he has pipped Jer to the record appearances. And this time, you win a
Flat cap.
plug declogger. You get the hair out of your shower. I don't know. I've just made it up on the spot. Evie, thanks again for coming back on to this chaotic podcast, which people are going to start saying every time I say chaos, you drink chaos. Evie, how are we? Are we good?
I'm questioning my life choices coming on, but yeah, other than that, I'm good.
We
Sounds
expect
about right.
nothing else but that attitude. That is great.
Yeah.
I like it. If you find yourself on this podcast, you have to ask yourself, where did it all go wrong? James, how are you, buddy? You good?
Me, I'm great. I'm glad that I made it. Yeah, it's cutting it a bit fine, so I'm here.
Yes, we have to
I'm here.
start a bit later because James had to sort his fringe out. He looks very
Good.
emo today.
I had to straighten it down.
Where are you? Andrea, once again, mate,
Yes.
I am loving the get up. I've got to say it. As Chris Fox says in the comments, Andrea is fully committed per usual.
Yeah.
You expect nothing less. Do we? So,
Yeah.
welcome back to the podcast. It is episode 25. Can you believe it? 25
No.
times I've come on here and said chaos. Anyway, I'll stop blathering.
Drink.
So, yeah, we have got a quick sponsor this
Here's
week,
water.
and are you hungry, James? Are you hungry? I know, Evie. I know you.
I am. I haven't had dinner
Want some
yet,
meatballs?
so-
I do.
Yeah,
Some
I know.
meatballs on a
Evie
pizza. I
wants
do. Something like that.
bit of backstory.
Right, Mum.
Evie's not happy because she ordered a meatball pizza and it didn't turn up. So I've got
It's got a bit
just
of
the
sausage,
thing
though.
for you. I've got just the thing. Why not check out these?
Forshaws crisp knees. They're fragile, average, and tasty. New ACL flavour. Pick up a bag today.
Forshaw's crisp knees. Alongside with, if you buy 2 packs of crisp knees, you get some Furpo biscuit knees free. Why not? Yeah. Andrea, is that something that you're interested
I think that's one of my favourites.
in? Well, there's new ACL flavour, and I think torn hamstring.
No.
Hamstring, I think is the next one coming out. So, Andrea, is that something you'd be interested in eating? Some crisp knees?
Yeah. Not those ones, but they look tasty actually. So I'll give it a try probably later tonight. I haven't had dinner yet, so probably, yeah, I would like to eat a pizza. Honestly, I have a big dinner of one of my friends graduated in terms of his university. So tomorrow night there's a big party, big dinner. But yeah, I think I have a very normal dinner after the podcast. So unfortunately, not a pizza tonight. Unfortunately, I will if I could, I will eat pizza every day. Honestly,
Being Italian, you know what I mean? You have a pizza all the time. You know what I mean? What does this mean? Yes. Anyway,
What are you doing?
sorry if
What
I'm
are you
being
doing? Okay, fine.
marginally racist. If that is, I do apologise.
No.
I do like doing this. Please don't ban me, YouTube. Right. So let's go back in time, all the way back to Cardiff. Evie, thoughts on the game? Were you relatively confident?
Going into the game, no, I wasn't, because Cardiff just seemed to be a proper bogey team for us. No matter what league we're in and what league they're in, we just don't seem to be able to get results there. So I was very happy the fact that they were so shockingly poor and we were just pretty much winning Champions League level. So it was pretty impressive, and yeah, couldn't be happier.
Yep. I'm the same. You know, I couldn't believe it. If I'm being truthful, I'd be happy for days. That's my Welsh accent for those out there. I do children's parties as well. Clown mostly. Andrea, was it a complete performance for you? I mean, obviously it was a really good away day for us, and we needed it, didn't we?
Absolutely, most complete one of the season, I think, in terms of away days. Especially I like really much, apart from the goals, of course, the setups. I really like how we controlled the game and how we kept going after scoring the first. You know, there was a lot of maturity in that game, honestly, and it shows you the moment we're living in, in terms of form, shape, and awareness of what this team can do with that squad. You know, of course, we still need signings, but we've shown that there's a good core, and if we play with certain players in a certain position, also really like Gruev's playing in Ampadu's position, Ampadu playing as a deep line playmaker, basically, because they use a low block. And I think this was, complete is the right word, you know. It was a very mature performance, and I think if we play like we did at Cardiff for the rest of the season, it would be brilliant. Of course, you can play like that every day of the week, every match day, you know, of the season. So hopefully that remains as a standard for the rest of the games. You know, we can be like that again. You know.
I'm sorry, Andrea, but every time I look at you, I feel wanderlusted and intimidated at the same time. I just can't. I just keep hearing like the Peaky Blinders theme tune, and
That means
the problem is this one. This is the problem. Look, this is the problem.
Don't pay attention to anything you say.
Evie, you pointing to Evie there?
Yeah,
What's she done? She hasn't done anything. Sorry, bad jokes. Bad jokes. James, a complete performance from your end, mate.
As I predicted. Remember?
As he predicted,
3-0.
You're right. Yeah.
I was very confident. It didn't show whether we were really good or Cardiff were really bad that game, but we were really good and Cardiff were really bad. Like I said, their game plan was a bit mental. It seemed like they weren't sitting in so much and they weren't really pressing us either. They were just waiting for us to make a mistake, and we made one the whole game. Completely dominated them from start to finish. More of that, please. Yes, I agree. More of that.
Yeah, we need more of that. I mean, obviously our away form isn't the best, but you know, it was good just to like Evie alluded to there. Like it's always been a difficult place to go for like Cardiff away. I mean, Evie, if you had to pick a player from that game, who's your favourite? I mean, for me personally, Rutter's just next level, but I think Somerville had a bit of an off game. What about you?
Yeah, I would say that. I think but how amazing is it to have somebody who's having an off day and is still directly involved in all 3 goals? And it probably was one of his worst performances, but that's okay. Like, you know, that's fine. But for me, Gruev was my favourite. I just thought he was everywhere in the midfield. It's nice to actually see what he can do instead of being stuck next to Ampadu when they're incredibly similar. So it was nice to kind of let him be seen, like to be free and let off the leash a bit, and allowed to show us what a lovely left foot he has as well, with some of his fantastic crosses and long balls. I know it didn't end up in a goal, but the one that I'm sure it was him that he did to Firpo, where Firpo headed the ball to Bamford, but I think Bamford was offside and missed anyway. But he was brilliant. So it's nice to be able to feel confident that if Ampadu is either needed at centre back or needs to have a rest, that we have an actual replacement for him who can do just as good.
Yeah. Do you concur? I can't even speak. Andrea, I do apologise. Andrea, do you echo Evie's thoughts? Anything to add?
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. I echoed her talks because I think Gruev, had a complete performance, especially not playing much games this season. I think being called up after Peter Brock. Peter was in the cup, of course, in a tough away fixture, and in the league because Cardiff, we've seen on the start of the season, they can be better than this, and they are quite better than what it looked like against us. So it wasn't an easy game for him, playing in the league against that Cardiff side. And I think he did brilliantly. We didn't miss Ampadu. Of course, Ampadu was involved too because they were leaving space for him to create too. But Gruev is not very pacey, of course. But with that tackle, he did pretty well. It's not his main trait, of course. But when you need to pass the ball quickly to play 1-2 touches and then pass the ball and try to fasten to be quicker in the build-up, Gruev can do that pretty well. And of course, I think for that specific reason, he was the best one. The best surprise also, I have to say, in that game. So if there was a man of the match, I pick him too. But the real man of the match was the collective at Cardiff because everyone was. It was like seeing an orchestra playing, and I really like when that happens. Everyone knew what they needed to do, every single player, and it was like seeing a perfect orchestra with a very good director. Still criticized sometimes, I see online, but I think that's still a very good director. Of course, we're listening to some good music on the pitch.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Very, very well said. Just moving slightly. I mean, James, Patrick Bamford, is Bam Bam back?
Sort of, isn't he? He's got 3 and 3. Still misses a fair few, but he scored, and that's what we need him to do. Touching on Somerville, he had a bit of a bad game, didn't he? But what I liked about his performance, he was involved in all the goals. But the last goal, he's missed chances, he's missed a penalty. You think he might have a shot there, but he hasn't. He's sort of waited, played it in. Bamford sort of done what he's done, let it go. Really, really like team performance. Yeah, I like that. But Bamford. See if he can score another one tomorrow, eh?
Well, how is he going to score
Sunday,
this time?
Sunday, should I say?
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday.
How is he going to score this time? Because he scored an absolute worldie. He scored an header, and he scored sat on his ass. So, Evie, what's he going to score on Sunday? Is he going to do like a cartwheel and it's going to come off his bum?
I would love it. I was going to say like either back or bum. I would love just for him to be able to essentially be able to do like head, shoulders, knees and toes by the end of the season. Would be one of my kind of highlights. It's amazing how he's gone from scoring, such an incredible goal against Peterborough and then literally scoops it off the floor. Probably the ugliest goal he will score. But they all count for the same. So it was nice to just. Usually he fluffs it up and he misses. So it's nice that he's got his confidence back and that. It's nice to see everybody else like Rutter was so happy for him. I mean, he's just like a constant Labrador anyway, is Rutter. He's just, I've never seen a person so in love with football and playing, even when he does things wrong, he's just like gets straight back up and gets, tries again kind of thing. But yeah, it's great to see him back, and hopefully that continues because that only means good things for us.
Oh yeah, 100%. Obviously, talking about Rutter then, Andrea. I mean, he's obviously. We said at the beginning of the season, last time you were on actually, it was November time, and he was saying that once he gets into the groove of, he's falling in love with playing football, and he's not just going through the motions. His potential's so high, isn't it? Especially now when he's going. It's going to be hard to keep on. Put my teeth back in. It's going to be hard to keep hold of him, especially he's a massive asset to us now, isn't he?
Yeah, him and Somerville are the biggest assets we have, I think, in the squad right now. And if we don't get promoted, I think it'll be very difficult to keep him, to keep both of them, I think, next season. So I agree totally with you, Danny. He is in the 10th position. Now he's free to play like he wants to play. Because, of course, he stretched the team when he played in the 9 because people cannot do that and still can, of course. Bamford does that instead. But in the 10, he can go back, get the ball, he can go wide. He is free roaming, you know. He's moving all around on the pitch, and that's the best way to use him, I think. That's brilliant, seeing him in that position. And we've been saying this for a while now, for quite a while. And finally, we've seen him play, and we've seen him play in that position. And that's the position that fits him the best, you know. But we still need, I think, another creative 8 or a creative 10, you know, because the real threat for me is that if Bamford gets injured or suspended, Pirlo cannot offer the same that Bamford, you know, for this system. Of course, we've seen Bamford. I'm not saying Bamford is better than Pirlo in terms of equally, you know, in terms of quality. Everyone is there, two different players. But even if he was called, I don't know, if it was called if you put an amateur, you know, up front in the 9 position that plays similar to Bamford, and you put an amateur playing similar to Pirlo, the team will not look the same. So you need a player capable of stretching the team, and Pirlo doesn't do that, unfortunately. So we need to find another position, unfortunately, another way to use Pirlo, because Walter right now needs to stay in the 10, absolutely 100%, because it's his role, his position, and that's the position when he will rise his game again.
Yeah, sorry, a bit of a. I was busy reading, commenting there. Yeah, I agree, mate. I think. Do you think that Pirlo, James? Do you? It's chaos. This chaos. Drink.
Sorry, Andrea.
Do you-
I will listen to you next time.
Don't mess with the Peacocky Blinders.
Andrea knows I love him. You know, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
I'll
that I
send
was
you
just
that.
reading someone else because you were talking. So I'm reading this over here.
I'll send you the pictures later, Andrea.
Yeah, don't worry if you find 2 people with flat caps in front of your house later on. You worry.
Speaking of
Listen to me when I'm talking.
Putting a hit on you, mate. Putting a hit on you, Joe Pesci.
Oh,
Up here.
I'm gonna have to censor this or restrict it for OnlyFans, I think, later. Speaking of pervs, here's my friend James Bickerdike, who I work with. He says, a running joke on the podcast, he thinks I've got an alien under my hat. I don't, I just have a receding hairline. And you're fat, James. Thank you. Right, moving on. So yeah, he's Fat James, we call him at work. So Chris Fox here is good, a really good comment. Which midfield partnership does the panel think is the best based on what we've seen this season? Normally I'd say this, but I think it's a really good question. So I'll start with you, Evie. Who would you have in the middle of the park?
I think if everybody's performing to the best that they possibly can, then I would say Ampadu and Kamara are the most effective because they're the most mature players. Gruev is still, you know, I don't want to hype him up too much. He's played 2 games back to back really well, but it is just 2 games, whereas Ampadu has been incredibly consistent throughout. And Kamara, when he's on, sometimes he goes missing for me and gets a bit cocky on the ball and loses it sometimes. But if you're saying like in the Leicester game, for instance, Ampadu and Kamara in that game were just unplayable. They were absolutely amazing. So if everybody's playing at their best, then I would say Ampadu and Kamara are our best midfield options right now.
Yeah. About you, James?
You've got to agree, haven't you? Really, they've been most of the season there, and they've been quite.
You don't have to, James. Don't have to. Don't feel the pressure because Eve's coming in here throwing her weight around, bullying people with her opinions.
Me, if I don't agree with her, she's going to smash me in the face with a pizza with no meatballs on, and I'm really scared. No,
Can we stop bringing up the meatballs? It's quite traumatic. It's like I'm really, really hungry.
All right. Don't get your meatballs in a twist.
Sake, meatballs,
I can't. I don't have any.
Anyway,
Andrea. Yeah, sorry, James. Go, you finish your point, please.
I agree. Yeah, I think they've been when they've been at their best, they've been really, really good. So, yeah, them too.
Sorry, Smarty's in the comments as per from Ought to Know Better. Good evening, you fine bunch. Andrea bringing pure sophistication with his flat cap, naturally. Danny looking like Stan from South Park. Evening, Nikki and James.
You're Joey Pesci from Home Alone, mate. That's what you are.
Yeah. Damn it, Marv. was like 1930s gangster then or something. I don't know. I can't do his thing. I don't do accents.
Evening, Smarty.
And Andrea, sorry, it's getting very silly right now. Follow us, subscribe. We're a silly podcast. Andrea,
Yeah.
who would you have in the middle of the park? If it was up to you, mate, who would you have? I mean, obviously we've got strikes out for a bit, but who would you put in the middle if everyone's fit?
I will put to Kamara and Ampadu, honestly, because you need a playmaker, the one making up the play, trying to build up, leading the build up, try to get the vision, try to be vertical balls, try to put the ball towards the wingers. And of course, I will stop talking about tactics because I saw your short during the during the week, the short you made about when everyone starts talking tactics on our podcast, and you say shit. That one, yeah. No, I will play Ampadu because it's more of a playmaker, and Kamara can go a little bit more forward than him. So you need two different players. I think if you brought Ampadu and Gruyer, they would be too similar. We saw that at West Brom when we played there. So you need either one between Ampadu and Gruyer, and one between Gray now and Kamara, and that's why I will bring in another midfielder, honestly, in this transfer window, because with Gray transfer to right back to the right position, you still need another one, I think, to another option from the bench, I think, because you have Gruyev and nothing else, basically, because Shackleton is played as a fullback too. So, and he's not. I don't think he works very much in this formation, honestly. In midfield, he works better in the fullback
Someone
position.
swinging on a gate. What's that whistling?
It sounds like it sounds like you're organising a budget.
I'm in a pub. Yeah.
Oh,
polishing your gun.
He's organised a budgie fight club. That's what he's doing.
This Brett Pitt and all.
No, it's all right. Please continue, Andrea.
Yeah, no, I finished. So.
Oh, right. Sorry.
I finished. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I did like about the game, just to go back onto the Cardiff game, is that we were quite fluid at the back, and as wing backs were quite high, and it were quite hard for them to press us. I mean, at one point, let's talk about the Cardiff fans. Wow, if you were a Cardiff fan, Evie, you'd have been fuming, or as they put, fuming. Well, that was a good accent. That was really good.
It's half a Leeds team as well, I mean. Remember that.
Yeah. I think that if that was at Ellen Road, we'd have been really embarrassed, and I think we would not have let them off as easy as I think they got off. I know that there was quite a few boos, but it doesn't compare to what would have been at Ellen Road if that kind of, if we didn't have any clue what they were doing. They weren't doing a low block, they weren't doing a mid block, they weren't pressing, it was like 11 individuals wandering around a pitch for 90 minutes, and nobody really knew what they were doing. And it was, that wasn't the same Cardiff that we played at the beginning of the season. At least they had 2 shots on target and 2 goals in that game. So it was, I think I'd be humiliated if I was a Cardiff fan by that performance at home, especially knowing the history that Leeds have there. We should have been intimidated, and the players should have been made to feel intimidated, and it kind of felt like a home game with how much possession we had, how many shots we had, and the fact that we just made them look clueless. We've not done that very well away from home this season. So the fact that we have done is, embarrassing for them, but good for us.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I sound like Churchill. Oh yeah. I mean, the Yorkshire accent has its perks. Jonathan Brook in the comments here has made a really good thing. I wasn't going to come on to it, but Jonathan, you've beaten me to it, mate. The defenders clattering each other, allowing Dan James to run off the ball prior to the third goal was comedy gold. And I agree with Jonathan, don't you, Andrea? I mean, we all saw them just go bang, and then Dan James, he was like a little border collie, whoop, ball's free, boom, and he's gone.
Yeah, they made it easy for us, with that with the clash. It was like very comical, because they went one for the ball and the other one following the space, try to cover the space, and they just clash. And I think it summed up pretty well the day for Cardiff City. when they played on the road, they look very compact. They scored 2 goals, but back in Wales, they look very disjointed and very not mentally in the game. And I think that perfect moment is the right picture summarizing their bad day at the office.
Oh yeah, you could say that. I mean, the boos were very loud, but then they subsequently got quieter because everybody were leaving, weren't they, James?
I would have left as well because they were diabolical. They did that one thing in that first half where Grub misplaced that one pass, and they sort of went, "Oh, we might score," but nothing happened. And other than that, yeah, they were shit.
Is that how they speak in Wales? Is it? Is that your
Go on, you
impression
do
of
it
Wales?
then, mate, because you're so good at Welsh. Go on, do it.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Ooh, we could have scored. See, it wasn't that hard, was it, James? Hey, some people call me the mimic. I don't know why. It's just a habit. Right. So that pretty much covers just a light touch over Cardiff, and it's the sheep I feel sorry for, if I'm honest. It's a sheep.
Yeah.
Let's obviously, Evie, I'll come to one last point actually. Dan James is on the score sheet again. How's the season going for him, do you think?
I love Dan James. Absolutely love Dan James. And I've loved Dan James since we got him. And I feel that he hasn't been treated the best by Leeds, but he's never complained about anything. He was played out of position for an entire season by playing as a number 9, and he didn't complain. He wasn't great at it, but he didn't complain, and he did his best. And then he got loaned out on the last day of the transfer window last summer when we actually needed somebody like him, just somebody to do the dirty work, somebody who's not going to, his fitness levels just don't seem to drop, and everybody's dropped last season. So it would have been, he actually could have been incredibly useful for us last season. He's come down to the Championship, presumably taken a wage cut, not tried to force a move, and just dug in. So he's just a good lad, and it's nice that he is now being able to play in his position. It makes me a little bit sad in terms of I would have loved for Bielsa to have been able to play him in that position, having a fit Bamford then, because I think that if you have those two players fit, we score a lot more goals in that season, and Bielsa maybe doesn't lose his job. But we can't always get what we want. But it's nice to see him get on the score sheet. And just going back to the defenders clattering one another, I would love for you to make a short with some music over the top of that, because I just think that with your editing skills, you could make a fantastic short out of that with some sort of, kind of 1930s, I'm thinking like Charleston type music over the top, kind of, what were they called? The two actors that were in black and white. One had a mustache.
Laurel and Hardy?
That's the one. Yeah.
Not that. Don't you dare, James.
Stanley.
Don't you dare. James, I saw that name flash through your eyes. Don't you dare say that. One with a mustache. Yeah, I know what you're going. Yeah, it was Laurel and Hardy. I think you were talking about.
Or
that.
you could do the defenders with Evie's face on them, and then the ball's a meatball, and it gets away from them, and they smash into each other.
James, I liked you.
She's too.
I'm sorry.
I'll
send you a meatball.
I did one similar short when I was at Reggiana, because one of our players scored a goal-winning goal in injury time, in added time, 2-1. Then it was celebrating like this, and you run towards the sidelines, and all the bench sprinted towards him. So one of our players from the bench sprinted towards him. He was celebrating, and he went boom in his face. He threw a punch at him. So I made the date when I was managing the social back then with the Rocky training song, and the sound of a punch, and him falling down, So do it.
To be fair, mate, I need the Rocky tune just to get out of bed, because my back, mate, it's absolutely killing me. Anyway, so we are nearly 30 minutes in, and make sure you get some likes on this video, please. Otherwise, Evie will beat us up. And subscribe, please. Otherwise, she can't have a meatball pizza, and we suffer. we get the bill and the punch marks for it. So what we do now is, for the viewers that are just tuning in at this point now, Andrea, I know you're looking forward to it because it is an Italian special. It's Guess the Player. Now, we're all excited. Evie, because it's an Italian special,
No, it's
this
French.
means that
It's
it's an
French, not
Italian.
Italian.
It
French.
means that a French player has never played for Italy. I just want to make that clear. Those are the rules, and you can't just make your own rules up, Evie. Okay?
I'll do what I want.
Very well, very well. So everyone
what I want.
in the comments, whoever's watching, if you're watching live, get your comments in who you think this player is, and you'll get 5 seconds. Make sure I pick the right one, right? And this person here. So who do you think this Italian
Ooh,
player is? And I'll give you a clue.
1978.
I'm thinking of his name.
Oh, give it away. There you are.
I think it's 1978 Argentina World Cup, I think. Because
I'll give you
give us another one.
Yeah. He's a very creative midfielder.
Midfielder. It can be Tardelli,
Yeah.
can be Antonioni,
I'm gonna have to
can
rush you.
be Causio. One of them. I think
Alright,
it's the
that's it.
1978 World Cup in Argentina. One of them.
Your time's up, Andrea. I'm sorry. Your time's up, sir. I'm gonna have to take
Tardelli,
your final
yes.
guess.
Yeah,
Tardelli?
let's say Tardelli. Yeah, let's say Tardelli. It's not him. I think he
Right.
would be Benetti, probably. I think he would be. Must say Tardelli, but I think he's wrong.
Right, okay. In the comments, if you're watching, type in who you think it is. James, who do you think
Can
it
even be
is?
me, you know. Can even be me.
You never know.
Yeah.
Could be you. Yeah, that kit. It's bringing back some memories. Lionel Richie.
Ooh, that is a very good guess. Evie, which Italian player, Italian icon do you think this is? If you say
Not French.
Gareth Gates, I'm leaving the stream.
Galileo.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Did
Let's
not
have a look.
play, honestly.
Let's have a look at the
I had
comments.
to-
You got Heidi Klum, you got Capello, Beppe Di Marco from Mark Kevin. You've got it's clearly Cilla Black, which is a fan favourite. Well, I can let you know that this creative midfielder who you see before your eyes now, you're all wrong. You're wrong. It was Andrea. I don't know how you didn't get this. The most creative icon in Italian history. It's Leonardo da Vinci. How did you not know that? How did you not
I
know
didn't know
it was
that,
Da Vinci?
honestly.
The most creative person in your history. Oh,
Because he played for
anyway.
Fiorentina for many years, you know.
Oh,
so
right.
Fiorentina back then, you know.
That's what it is. Do you know what I
That
mean?
was genuinely my second guess. That was genuinely my second guess.
And like, they've
I'm
got one
so
here.
gutted.
Alec Ferguson's skid mark. There you go.
What's he just
Mr.
saying
Dodo
random things now?
I can just imagine him going, bruh. Sorry, if you're new to this podcast, this is what happens. We disappoint people. I'm sorry. Please subscribe, please. Anyway, so we'll go on to some.
Skin mark.
Let's go on to some news from before we go on to other things. So obviously today we have seen Lewis Bate go out on loan. Andrea, is that something that you think has it's been mishandled? Do you think, Lewis Bate?
Yeah, I think so. I think he arrived with a lot of expectation because every young player that arrived under Victor Orta was presented like the next big thing, you know. Remember when we signed Gerrard and Greenwood, they were basically hailed when they were playing in youth football, like they were the next Shearer and Sutton or York and Cole. Shearer and Sutton or York and Cole, because of course we don't have memories of them. But yeah, I think he's been mishandled a lot because when he played those 3 games in the Premier League, I think he showed that at least in the Championship he could play in the Championship. Of course, Premier League was too much at the time. I think in his first game he did pretty well. Then of course there was the game against Chelsea and he struggled there. because we were a mess under Marsh. First signs of the mess that was to come the next season. We stayed up because of Rafinha. And last season, I think he did pretty well too with Oxford United. And I expected him, if he wasn't part of the plans, because he played just one game in pre-season, I expected him to be sent on loan to a lower championship club or a top League One side. I'm really surprised they sent him out on loan in League Two to that club. I really dislike the club, honestly. I really do. Probably because, what happened to Wimbledon. I really don't like them. But yeah, I think it's really strange, because in the end, he's doing the same trajectory as Alfie McCalmont in the end. McCalmont was another good player from our youth setup that ended up in League Two. And I think Bates, the only problem is that he's alone. He's out of contract next summer. So I don't think we'll see him again in a shirt. So if he does well in League Two, I think he can get a contract probably in League One. So it's a setback, this one, for him. I think he didn't expect to be, especially arriving from Chelsea, he didn't expect to find himself, I think, as a League 2, League 1 player, I think. So unfortunately, that's how sometimes things go in football. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm really disappointed for him, honestly, and for us, because he showed signs of good things. I think if we did better loans for him in terms of opportunities of going on to a loan, I think the player would have been handy for the squad this season already.
Yeah, I agree. I think. Yeah, I thought he could have been a decent option. James, did you rate Bate at all?
I did. I thought it was a tiny little player. I did. Had a little bit of pace on him as well. I think if he's gone out on loan now, and if we go up, yeah, we'll definitely see the back of him. Maybe come back if we stay in the league, depending on who goes out and whatnot. But
I think he's out of contract.
Yeah, I quite like Bate.
Yeah.
Well, can we not offer him a new one?
Yeah. No. I don't think so, honestly.
Get rid of him.
Just get rid of him. Yeah.
Because he did want to stay, didn't he? He come out and said he wanted to stay at Leeds and try and get into the.
You never know, mate. We might be able to persuade him to come back if we give him a meatballs pizza or something. You know what I mean? If something like that.
If we get a meatball pizza, he'll stay.
Yeah, you're our favourite. There you go. Evie, talk to us. Did you rate Lewis Bate?
He's not staying because he's not having my meatballs. So that's that, really, isn't it? Yeah.
So selfish. Can't even share meatballs.
Every time you say meatball, what comes to my mind is Molly McCann. I'm sorry. Because I watch the UFC.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, I liked him in, especially the Arsenal game where Ayling got sent off. I thought he was really good in that game, and I was excited to see him in the Chelsea game. And then obviously that didn't go as well. But I think kind of looking back on that retrospectively and thinking, well, he didn't really have a manager to kind of encourage and develop his play because we had Jesse Marsh. So I think, yeah, a lot of those signings have not ended well for either, financially for the club or player-wise for the club, and also for those individual players' career trajectory, really. We've kind of messed a lot of them around and not utilised them when maybe sometimes you have to at least attempt to make something work. And we haven't really done that with most of them. Greenwood was being constantly played out of position and then didn't look that great because of the fact that he was played out of position. And, he wasn't a Bielsa player because he wasn't great at running. So he always confused me for that fact and unfortunately, Duffy's just constantly broken as well. I think he's another one that's kind of been done over with injuries, but without the kind of Sam Byram excuse of being played loads when he was younger. So, I really wanted Joffrey to work because in that 21-22 season, he was kind of like a bit of a cult player because we, the Norwich game, in the Burnley game, he just kind of came on in the Brighton game as well. He just seemed to make things happen. and then nothing. He just completely stalled. And again, I think that's down to not having a manager who actually knew how to play football from a manager perspective anyway. So I feel sad enough. It's just another crappy piece of business, really, in terms of, we've just bought a player to send him out on loan and not utilize him, and then not got anything from him at the end. So it's a bit of like a what's the point for both sides, really. He hasn't progressed with us. We're not getting any money out of him. So
I remember when, I agree. I think it's a bit of mismanagement because obviously the Oxford fans were raving about him. Obviously Farke's okayed this loan for him to just go out on loan, and his contract runs out in the summer. But I mean, I thought he was a tidy little player. Like you mentioned Geldart there. At one point, Geldart was like the super sub for us. He came on, and every time we saw him getting ready, we were all like, right, this is it. Something's going to happen. But I mean, there's rumours today that Geldart's in talks with Rangers. I mean, whether there's any truth to that. I mean, again, we're talking about, Matteo Joseph has got a 4-year deal today. Now Farke has looked at Joseph and said, right, he's got something. I'll come to you, James. Do you like Joe? I mean, I think Joseph is a good up and comer. It's what God said.
I think he's the next one to do that forward run instead of after Bamford. I think him could do that
because he's a runner. 9, isn't he?
He's a runner and he can run all game, and he's got bigger as well, stronger. Yeah, so I think if Bamford's not doing it, if he comes off for a bit, I'd give Joseph a run out in that number 9 role. Yeah, definitely.
I think
really like him.
So he had a chance, didn't he, in the Cardiff game? And if he just held back and just passed it, I think the occasion just got to him and he messed up. He could have got a 4th goal. But what's your thoughts on Joseph, Andrea, right quickly before we move on to the Cresswell situation?
Yeah, he's a very good player. I think from what we see so far in his cameos, on the pitch, I think he's shown that he can adapt very quickly to the level of the Championship, because, like James said, for example, he has grown up in terms of muscle, and he wasn't before. And also, it seems that like now Farke sees him as a proper 9, because in pre-season when he played him, he used to play him wide before he got injured before the start of the season. In pre-season one, placer, como siempre. In pre-season, when he played wide, now he sees him as a 9, and he's really rated too, because he's doing pretty well for the under 20s, I think, of England. And I think James is right now. He has similar traits to Bamford in terms of how he plays in the 9, So I think it's the next, after Archie Gray, can be the next one making that leap, that jump to senior football and adapt quickly to the difference of level, because of course the physicality in youth football is not the same as senior football. If it was, we will be in huge trouble in terms of level of football. Probably people will switch to cricket or rugby if that's the case,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one for the future, name Matteo Joseph. Moving on, just to Cresswell then. What's your thoughts on the old Cresswell situation, Evie? Is he going? Because apparently we've got a £5 million price tag on him. No one's met that match. Apparently Millwall are after a loan. Can you see him staying, or does he go? I mean, I personally think it's rubbish if you sell a player on a 5-year contract. I'd loan him out. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd loan him out, because I'm fully Farke in. I really like Farke.
You what? Sorry?
I said I'm fully Farke.
Farke. Oh, right. Farke.
Filthy mouth.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Coming on here. Coming on here, throwing away, but no pizza. Sorry, Evie, go
on. Players will often outlive managers, so I think it's quite short-sighted if we sell him when we've just put him on a new contract, because say if we do get back up and we give Farke everything that Norwich didn't and he still fails, then I think that if we have sold a player because the manager didn't get on, fair enough if he's only got a year left, but he's just signed a new contract, so I don't think it makes very good business sense. And I would hope that that is the main thought of the 49ers, in the fact of it doesn't make good business sense. And we could always sell him in the summer if we need to. You know, like, he's still going to have a long time left on his contract in the summer. And it means that if we either don't get promoted, but we've still got Farker and the issues are still exactly the same, then we can afford to get rid of him. It'll help with, you know, the profit and loss and everything. But right now we don't need to be too concerned because we can still earn money off him. But I would loan him out, get him playing minutes, and either he matches what Leeds need him to do, or he impresses enough that we can sell him in the summer with a sell-on clause or a buyback clause, or both. So yeah, please don't sell him. I think that it would just be a silly financial decision, regardless of what the atmosphere is between the player and the manager, because the two people may not ever meet again if we get up and Farker gets sacked. And then if you've sold somebody who then comes out to be, you know, really good and would suit another manager, it's just a bit daft. It doesn't make long-term good business sense. And hopefully, so far, the 49ers have made good long-term decisions, i.e. Gray and Joseph, tying them down, you know, seeing potential in them. And clearly somebody saw potential in Cresswell in order to sign him on a longer deal. So there is a player in there. It may not suit Farker.
Yeah. James, what's your thoughts on the old Crystal situation? Why do you think he's not getting minutes, mate? I mean, obviously, he's behind
We know
Rodon's
why.
having a...
Because Joe Rodon's just Superman. That's why he's
Yeah.
not getting minutes. It's unfortunate for him because Rodon's been so good and he's just been undroppable. You can't drop him. And Cresswell is the next one in coming in. But even when there was a space for him, he was playing straight there. So that didn't make sense either. Maybe he's just got an issue with the way he plays football. I don't know. I think he's really good. I think he will get better. But Fark's here for 5 years as well, isn't he? So it's like, who knows? Maybe just doesn't play his style of football and he wants to just, I don't know. It's weird.
We've pretty much covered the Cresswell thing. What I want to know from you, Andrea, what's the situation with Llorente going to PSG? Are PSG absolutely drunk off wine? What's going on? Have they lost their heads? Have you heard anything from your side of the continent?
No, nothing new. There was just a report about them trying to negotiate with Roma on a termination of the loan, and so he could have returned to Leeds, and then PSG could have balked him, basically acquired him from us. But I don't know. He was basically one of the proteges of Mourinho. Now Mourinho's gone, of course, and there's a different regime under the Rossi. So I don't think, honestly, that it will go in January. I think we'll have to wait for the summer, probably. And maybe PSG, if Luis Enrique is still there, because I don't know if he's gonna be still there, you know, especially for looking at their continental campaign. I think that can be a window to sell him to PSG. Now they will have to pay a compensation, I think, to Roma because of the early termination of the loan. So it doesn't make much sense for them, honestly, to do it now. But I don't know, honestly, if I don't know why, honestly, you're interested to PSG, because I don't see him doing nothing there, honestly. He's average footballer, honestly, to be fair. He works better in a back three. He's never played in a back three at PSG, and he's never played in a back three at Leeds. He's not going to play in a back three at PSG, so it doesn't make sense for me. Unless they want a veteran to just strengthen the squad in terms of numbers. That's the only way I see that happening, honestly. They want to bring in another experienced player because then he played in Spain, played in England, now he's played in Italy. Now he wants to do the tour of Europe, France, and then Germany, maybe. That's the only way. They don't want to bring in another experienced player. Yeah, he's doing the European tour, you know.
Yeah,
they want to make it a bit easier, don't they, Danny? They want to make the play in the French league just a bit harder for them, so they'll throw in Llorente, so they score a few goals because he takes out two defenders with himself. And
you know what Ronaldo said today in an interview? Cristiano Ronaldo said that according to him, the Saudi league is better than the French league.
mate. A
Well, there you
group of
go. He'll
pigeons
fit
in the
right in there,
park.
won't he?
A group of pigeons in the park pecking dog shit is better than the Saudi league. I'm not even exaggerating. Honestly, I've seen the standard there. No disrespect to the Saudi league, but pigeons are pecking shit are better at football. Do you know what I mean? What are you gonna do? Sign me up so I'll go and play and earn loads of money? Oh no, I'm scared. Sorry, a bit of a tangent. One last thing I want to talk about, Evie. We've seen 3 players go. We've got Ayling gone, Spencer's gone, and obviously Bates gone now. Are you confident we're going to get some players in? Because I know that the old rhetoric of, like the 49ers work in silence, which we've seen them do. But are you confident that we're going to get someone in before the window? I mean, obviously I prefer fullbacks, but what do you think?
I think we will. I think I've said it before in the fact of we have to realise we're not a Premier League club, so therefore we are at the kind of the whim of the Premier League teams that were, either competing for players or wanting their kind of cast off players. We have to wait for them to sort their business out first before we can, because unfortunately we are very low down that list, regardless of our name. We are a championship club right now, and it's annoying, but I do have faith, especially because of the summer. I think they bought a lot of credit because of they went about things silently, and we got like 4 signings in the last kind of about 7 days of the summer transfer window. So I do think, and they also know that it's an inflated market, so for as much as we want to go up this year, they have to plan as if we will and plan as if we won't all at the same time. So I think that, sending Spence back was a good option, because now we've got 3 home loan clauses, home loans that we can use.
Home loans.
So I do think, I think that we will use those.
Actually, there's a pizza guy in Oman. Let's see what the pizza guy arrives in.
Yeah, apparently we're delivering a meatball pizza. Yeah. But yeah.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
I can imagine Evie with shotgun. Where's my meatballs, mother?
It's
anyway.
Like you don't want to get in the way of like a hungry woman. Like I'm part Irish, so we get very, very hungry.
Yeah, I can
we
imagine.
Need feeding every 4 hours, although otherwise, people die.
Oh, like a gremlin, but with pizza. You get what?
Exactly.
if you don't get pizza, you just multiply and you. Yeah. Anyway, Gremlins, watch it. It's a good film. Anyway, so moving on to James. What's your opinion, mate, on the old transfer window? Do you think they're moving in silence?
Maybe they're just sort of clearing the decks a little bit and getting players out before they know who and what to bring in. But they said they're going to utilise the loans, so I imagine they will. I've got faith, judging on all the signings that will come in, apart from Darlow, that they'll get some good players in. Yeah. So
not a fan of Darlow, are you?
It's not that I'm not. He's just been pants for us, and yeah, this just gets me.
He has a good chance, though.
What is it you called him the other day? What is it you called him the other day? Hologram heart arms or something? But, yeah. So
he has a good chance, though. When he was in Newcastle, Cardiff, always believe in your soul. Yeah, that chant. Anyone?
Yeah, I don't believe in his soul.
Yeah.
He's soulless. Right, so moving on, because we are pressed for time and we've nearly been on an hour, and I know that Andrea has got to go collect some money that people owe him. So this next bit's called Show Me the Loanee. Now, I've had a little skim over the players that are out on loan. If I forgot any, I'm crap. I get it. I'm sorry, I forgot. So we all know that Koch's gone. Excuse me. Yep, I said that correct. He's gone to, is it Eintracht Frankfurt, is it?
Yeah, Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah. He left on a free, but we got like half $500,000 for his loan fee. So I know, well, it pays for the meatball pizzas at the end of the season. So Sonny Perkins has returned. A bit of a terrible loan, if you ask me. But he
Yeah.
can't go out. He can't go back out on loan now. He's
No.
because I think he played in the cup, didn't he, for us? Sinistera, he is a snake, but still he's got 12 appearances, 2 goals and 1 assist for Bournemouth. JB, apparently the Plymouth fans compared him to Rude Gullit at one point. I'm happy. I do like JB.
Yeah.
I do like JB. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think we've got a fleece for him, if I'm being honest, but he's a good player from what I've seen, and I do think there is a place for him. I mean, that just tells the difference. Like, I think Jabe's got a year or 2 left on his contract. He's going out to get some first team experience,
It
and
costs
hopefully
£5 million, for fuck's sake.
I know, mate. I know. Drama's got 18 appearances, 3 assists. We won't be seeing him again because his contract runs out at the end of the season. Brendan
No
Aronson,
drama.
the only player sponsored by ankle weights to play football. He's got, and the only player to be rated in ground minutes, how long he spent on the floor. His 12 appearances, 0 goals and 0 assists. I've double checked that. That is correct.
Scored
He's
in a
got
friendly
300
though. Did score in a friendly.
That's why I double
Yeah.
checked. And we'll go on to you, Andrea, just right quickly. Christensen and Llorente. Now, have they been? I mean,
Yeah.
Christensen's got 1 goal, 2 assists, 19 appearances. Llorente's got an assist and 18 appearances. Just in 30 seconds, can you sum up their time at Roma for us?
I think he's been terrible, Christensen, and very bad, Llorente. Yeah, that's the situation.
Oh, so
Roma
no change
are
then.
a terrible side for me. Terrible side so far. Now they have changed the mind, but they were a terrible side. And you mentioned the goal from Christensen. Look at that goal. He was basically shooting towards the corner flag. The ball got deflected and went to the other side and went to the goal with the lob. That is one of the most comical goals I've ever seen, honestly, to be fair.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's no change then.
He's
I
super
still
celebrating
think
after.
you got I still call him the flaccid Viking and the Spanish giraffe. Giraffe. Voba is 15 appearances, 1 goal and 2 assists, and I think he scored against, was it Cox's team to get the winner? And I think
And then
Cox
got sent off,
didn't
I think.
yeah. Talk about calamity. Right, Mark Rocker, the only good one that's actually doing something good out there. But I think if we fail to go up, I believe Real Betis or Betis, I think it's 12 million they're looking to buy him from, which is a snip, really, isn't it, James?
Yeah. What happens if we go up?
He comes back and we sell him for more, and he gets the pizzas in, meatball preferably.
So basically,
And
if we go, we can ask for more money. Is that what
I'll tell you who loves a meatball pizza. Luke Vardy, if you remember him from a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, Luke Vardy. No.
Luke Vardy. Sorry, I missed Marty's comment here. Because I think we've seen in the summer that quality and officially the 49ers operate throughout the transfer window. I'm quite confident they'll strengthen where we need in the next few weeks. Now, I agree with that. I've always said, why would they get rid of players to weaken us and not strengthen? I do believe that's one thing. The only thing is that with Leeds United fans online, they pour their insecurities and fears on there. Because if it does happen, they go, told you so.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Because just because we can't see it happening online doesn't mean that they're not doing anything.
There's also people saying both sides of the way, both things. That there's people saying, well, everyone is saying, they're doing well, they're operating well. Everyone says they're operating well. The same people say, no, they're not operating well if the wind is changing. That's funny to say. They're not sticking with their opinion. They're changing in like the wind, changing direction.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I can't help but look at you and think, wow, what a handsome man. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. You need to take that hat off, Andrea, because I've fallen in love. Right, so Harrison's got 15 of. Yeah,
put it back on. Put that back on.
I'm only joking, mate. You put it back on. I like looking at you. So Jack Harrison, 15 appearances, 2 goals and 3 assists. Do we see Jack Harrison coming back, Evie?
No.
No. That's what his mum said. If you remember
Yeah,
that video.
I agree with his mum. He can stay over there. I used to love Jack Harrison, but for me, considering it was the 49ers that didn't let the sale to Leicester go through, I'm disappointed that obviously he and his agent negotiated that contract of not only just one loan release, but Phil Hayes said today that if we fail to go up, then he is one of the definite ones that can go out on loan again next season if we don't go back up. So he is kind of royally screwing us over. And considering how inconsistent he was, we can have better. He doesn't replace anybody in the team right now, so
That's true. That's true.
he can stay out and gone, and hopefully we get promoted and we can sell him, because he's probably going to be one of our best assets to sell out of the loanees, because he's playing in the Premier League, and he will continue to play for Everton for as long as they remain a football club this year.
About 3 weeks then.
Anyway.
It just, I mean, we have these sometimes. Like I've been guilty of it myself, where I think Jack Harrison's a quality player, he's a great player, but then you see it through like a bit of recency bias, where he has a good game, and then he plays average, and then he dips in form again, and then it goes up. And I've even seen Everton fans saying this, like online. But anyway,
He's good only when he has space in front of him. When he has space in front of him, if he needs to dribble to try to get inside, he struggles. He's good only when he has space in front of him. That in that situation is very good. But apart from that, in different situations, he struggles every time. That's the problem for me.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree, but it's, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? Victor or you. Anyway, we'll move on to the Preston preview. Obviously, I'm going to the game. James, we're going to the game. Kev's coming to the game. And I'm gonna have a big dirty burger while I'm
hold
there.
hands
So
and skip into Ellen Road together
and sing Kumbaya, marching on together at the same time. Evie, are you confident towards Preston? They obviously did us over on Boxing Day, the Boxing Day blunder, as it's like to be called.
Yeah, I think that we will. I never like predicting wins, just because of my own insecurities with Leeds letting me down constantly whenever I do predict a win. But I am fairly confident, because I think that it's, we have something to prove, and we need to keep the kind of the angst going from that game and bring it home for we really do. Alison's right, we owe somebody a battering, and I would love it to be Preston, because they ruined Christmas, so I would like us to batter them. And for us, instead of holding back, because we seem to get to that 3-4 mark and then hold back, I would like us to just go and annihilate somebody and really kind of demoralize them, is how I would like them to leave.
How you feel right now about your meatballs?
Yeah, exactly. I want all of them to feel how it feels to not have meatballs, and I would like them to all cry on their way back to Preston.
Oh,
way
God.
back to Preston. I agree.
Yeah, go on then, James. Tell us about. You're always confident, mate. You're always super positive.
Another 3-0, mate. It's going to be another 3-0.
I saw a comment in, actually.
We're going to win 3-0 to the end of the season. Every single game. 3-0.
That's it.
Even if they win the cup.
Give us a crown now. That's what I'm saying. It was from Mr. Dodo. Here we go. It says, if we beat Preston 3-0, that would be the first time in history a tram won a tram. I don't know why a tram's playing for us. Obviously, it means team. 4 times 3 names in a row. I don't know. But surely no one's done that before.
Yeah, for a tram, the first time for a tram.
Oh, well, there you go. History awaits us, Leeds United. Do not let us down. James, obviously, I mean, if I didn't have meatball pizza, I'd be fuming as well. So, does the same team start fuming?
That beat thingy Cardiff. Yeah, I guess so. Or change them. I mean, no one's back from fitness from injury, are they? Stroke's still injured. Rampedy will probably stay there. Yeah, keep the same team maybe.
Yeah, but Andrea, would you tweak anything?
No, honestly, this time I won't. I will keep the same team, and I think we beat them 4-1. Honestly, I think we'll be eager to get revenge from the scrap at Deepdale. Honestly, I think we will. I think we'll be. We won't repeat the same mistakes we made at Deepdale. So I think will be a very different story this time. Honestly, I'm pretty confident. I'm very optimistic about this game. Honestly, to be fair, I'm usually not, but I'm very optimistic this time around.
Yeah, good. I mean, I do have a different vibe. I mean, obviously, the players were they were full of turkey. You know, I'll let them off this time, but they better not do it Sunday. History awaits. Now that you've said that, you know what I mean. Yeah, I think let's get some predictions in right quick. Then, James, we'll start with your prediction, mate. 15-0. What do you think?
3-0. I just told you, mate.
Evie?
3-0.
I'm going to go 3-0.
Oh, Andrea, the pressure's on you, sir.
4-1.
4-1.
4-1. Oh.
Yeah, I was
I'm not
looking
listening.
to.
Sorry.
Kev, what Kev was saying that Stuart Downing has been appointed the under-21s
Yep.
coach.
I was just about to come on to that, Andrea.
Well done.
I just said Stuart Downing has been appointed the under-23s manager.
Oh,
Stuart, what did I say?
I don't know. You just say Stuart Downing.
Stuart Downing. Yeah, Stuart Downing. Yeah,
Stuart Downing.
has been appointed the coach of the under-23s. Under-21s.
Is it under-23s or under-21?
I don't know. Stop
Both
picking on me.
both of them.
Right.
It's not nice, is it, Danny?
Well, you're a bully, so leave me alone. Somebody get her a meatball pizza. Yeah, you know. Hopefully we'll get some additions in. Hopefully we'll get some additions in next week. I think the same team starts. We are pressed for time, so I will quickly move on to the last two segments. I know what the other people are thinking. More segments? Well, deal with it. You're here till we're finished. Thank you. Like and subscribe. So what we're going to now is what we call Top Knob. And I got a comment earlier for Evie saying they can't wait to see Evie's Top Knob this week. So what we do is we nominate a person or thing or whatever you want to nominate, and we put it in the middle and we nominate them for Top Knob as a collective. So let's get into this week's Top Knob.
Top Knob.
Best jingles in the game.
Land.
Sorry. And land. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes we finish each other's
weird things.
Podcasts. Yeah, we go. So I will come on to I'll save Eve for last. So James, who's your Top Knob this week, sir?
Well, because last week we all went Marshy Pants because he's been a dick. I'm gonna pick Jed Spence because he massively let me down.
Yeah. For those who don't really watch regular, but James was flying the flag for Jed Spence, and he's gonna let him down. So hold your head in shame, Jed Spence. Andrea.
I was gonna say Rasmus Christensen. I was gonna say Rasmus Christensen because the Rossi met him and he said, "Do you speak Italian?" No, I don't. It's February and you don't speak Italian again. You don't speak Italian, so he was criticizing. But I'm gonna say like James to Spence because really, for what he has emerged about his attitude is really enough. Yeah,
I agree.
Thank
you. Yeah. What about you, Evie? Then give us the bombshell. Who is your Top Knob this week?
It's really like just a normal one. It was the referee for booking Gruev for a perfectly good tackle. He let me down because I didn't think that the ref had a bad game, but he just had to make sure that we all knew he was a championship ref by making a terrible decision. So he is my knob of the week for just being a championship ref and proving it by making a terrible decision.
Just been a shit ref, is that what you're saying?
Basically, yeah.
Good refs for everyone else because everyone does it to Leeds. Shitbags.
Yeah. It's a conspiracy, I'm telling you. It's a government conspiracy. I'll have to go with James with Jed Spence because I was really looking forward to him just playing, really. I mean, he did well at left back, but I would have loved him at right back. But apparently he's He's had problems with time management, especially at Spurs as well. It came out there. Apparently, I can't. I don't want to, throw shit at him, but I'm gonna. Apparently, one of the appointments, not one of the team things, was going to a hospital or something. But that's just a pinch of salt. But I'll just leave it there. I won't bash that lad. So Jed
And he
Spencer,
nicked
this
all the
week,
meatballs. Nicked all the
and he
meatballs
probably
as well,
took a
didn't he?
meatball pizza. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Jed Spencer, this week's top knob.
Top knob.
Yeah. So, thank you. There we go. Some nice numbers in here. Don't forget to subscribe and thank you very much, Auto Better podcast. Good friends of the podcast, our sister podcast, if you would like to believe that. So Andrea, it's been a while since you've been on. What you probably don't know, that all the sponsor money that we get given, because secret millionaires, we don't like to tell everyone, but keep it quiet. I've built a supercomputer, and it generates questions and stuff like that. So I call it the NALP 3000. So are you ready to face the questions from NALP 3000?
I don't think I am, but I will. So let's jump.
You ain't got a choice. You just suck it up, sunshine.
Here we go. Beep boop beep.
Calculating. Question found. Who would you pick? Rechubka or Meatballs to save your life-saving penalties?
Off the chain is that supercomputer. I scare myself sometimes. So you've got Rechubka or Felix Vivaldi, old lettuce wrists. And there's a penalty shootout, and you're going to die. And you have to pick one of them to save your life.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the worst goalkeepers I've possibly seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I've seen a guy with one arm going net. Andrea, who are you picking?
I pick Meatballs. I think it was better than Ratsuka, and take a scenario, that if you're playing during the day with the sun, he has his hat on, and Ratsuka doesn't. So the probability to save that penalty are higher with Meatball in goal than Ratsuka, because he won't see the ball with the sun in his eye.
Just Andrea to defloor my supercomputer with logic. Come on, Andrea. Yeah, fair enough, mate. That's fair. James, I'm purposely coming to you so Evie can stew in her own anger.
Well, as long as any of them weren't Darlow to save a penalty, I'd probably go Meatballs as well, and get one of the crowd to give him a hat again, I guess. But yeah, Meatballs.
Fair enough. What about you, Evie? Who would you pick?
Can I pick neither one of them?
Yeah, but you'll die. But that's the aim of the game.
Oh, die! Thank you.
I'm an independent woman. I can save my own damn life.
Well, you go in net then. See what happens.
I'm only 5'2.5". It'd just go straight over me.
Yeah, but if they fired meatballs at you, you'd catch them, wouldn't you?
Damn right I would.
Oh, I need to rename this to meatball pizza. So that I'll put you down for Evie. Couldn't give a shit about the. Okay. So that concludes this week's podcast. Everyone, thank you for joining and putting yourself through this. Andrea, thank you. Grazie mille. As always, the top appearance, I think. The top appearance. I think Jer's just behind you by one. So Jer, if you're watching, let's make it interesting. Let's get a race going on. First to 10 wins. Evie, thank you again for coming on. It's always a pleasure. I hope your husband gets you a meatball pizza sharpish. Otherwise, I think he's in the cage. Have you let him out of the cage? He's still in there.
Yeah, he was the one who went to go and get the pizza.
Only when
Please shoot me.
If I win the race with Jer, can I win a meatball pizza too?
Mate, I will hand deliver it
as long
to
as I
Italy
can have
myself.
some.
I will come to your house. I will make it. I'll go al fresco. I'll do it. I'll do that spinny thing. I'll make the meatballs myself. and I'll do it with just an apron on and clamps on my nips. Sorry, X-rated.
I ain't saying nothing. I'll
James,
leave that one.
thank you, James, for being James. I've been Danny.
Always.
Andrea and Evie have been themselves. Thank you for putting yourselves through the chaos, and we will see you next week. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification button, and we will see you next week. Ciao.